Alright, 7. Design preparation, joint production welding. Piping should be welded with qualified welders, qualified with the procedure surface to weld to be smooth, uniform, free from lamination, tears, slag, scale slag, grease paint, and other deterioration, the deleterious material that might be adversely affect the welding joint design spacing between the abutting ends and should conform with the procedure used. 7.2 alignment. Alignment of butting end shall be minimum of the offset with between the strip of the pipe ends with the same nominal thickness of the offset should not exceed 1/8 of an inch. Large variations of permissible provide with a variation called with the variation of the pipe end dimensions. Within pure just specification tolerance of such variations have been distributed the essential uniform around the circumference of the pipe. Hammering of the pipe to obtain the proper lineup should be kept to a minimum. 7.3 Using a lineup clamp for the butt welds. Lineup clamp should be with the butt welds in accordance with the procedure specification with the permissible to remove the lineup clamp before the root bead and complete with the completed part of the bead that is approximately equal to the segment of the space of approximately equal or the circumference of the joint. However, internal lineup clamp is used. The conditions make it difficult for the prevent movement of the pipe and the welding unduly stress. The root bend should be completed before the clamp tension and the release root head bead segment is used. The connection external clamp shall be uniform spaced within the circumference of the pipe and shall have aggregated length at least 50% of the pipe circumference before clamping is removed. 7.4 Bevel. 7.4.1 Mill bevel. All mill bevels of the pipe end shall conform with the joint design used the procedure specification. 7.4.2 Field bevel. Pipe end shall be beveled, machine tooled, machine oxygen cut, authorized by the company manual. Oxygen cutting may be used. The bevel end shall be reasonably smooth, uniform. The dimensions shall be in accordance with the procedure specification. 7.5 Weather conditions. Welding should not be done when the quality of the completed welding would be impaired to prevailing weather conditions, including but not limited to airborne moisture, blowing sands, high winds. Windshields may be used when practical. The company shall decide whether conditions are suitable for welding. 7.6 Clearance. When the pipe is welded above ground, the working clearance around the pipe should not be less than 1/16 of an inch. When the pipe is welded in a trench or a bell hole, shall large enough to provide welders with a readily accessible joint. Alright, 7.7 Cleaning bead between beads. Scale and slag shall be removed with each bead in the groove of the power tool shall be used with the cleaning with the proper procedure specification. Otherwise, cleaning may be performed with either by hand or power tools. Automatic welding is used within surface porosity clusters, bead starters, and high points showing removed by grinding before the welding metal is deposited over them. When requested by the company, heavy glass deposits shall be removed before the weld metal is deposited over them. 7.8 Positioning weld. 7.8.1 Procedure. All positions shall be made within parts of the joint secured against the movement of adequate clearance around the joint to allow welders and welder space in which to work. 7.8.2 Filler and finish beads. For position welding, the number of the filler and finish beads shall allow the complete weld substantially uniform cross section around the entire circumference of the pipe. At no point shall the crown surface fall below the outside of the surface of the pipe, and shall it be raised above the parent material more than 1/16 of an inch. Two beads shall not be started at the same location in the face of the completed weld, approximately 1/8 of an inch wider with the width of the original groove. The completed weld shall be thoroughly brushed and cleaned. 7.9 Roll welding alignment. A company's option with the rolling weld with the permitted with the provided alignment with the maintained by using skids or a structural framework, adequate number of the roller dollies to prevent slag and support a length of pipe. 7.9.2 Filler and finish beads. For rolling welding, number of the filler and finish beads shall be such for the complete with the weld with a substantial uniform cross section around the entire circumference of the pipe. At no point shall the crown surface fall below outside of the surface of the pipe, and shall be raised above the parent metal by more than 1/16 of an inch. The face of the completed weld be approximately 1/8 of an inch wider than width of the original groove, and as well with the welding pressure of the pipe shall be rolled and maintained. Welding near the top of the pipe of the completed welding should be thoroughly brushed and cleaned. 7.10 Identification welds. Each welder shall identify the work of the manner prescribed by the company. 7.11 Pre and post heat treatment. Procedure specifications shall specify pre and post heat treatments. Practice to be followed when materials or weather conditions make either both treatments necessary. 8 Inspection, testing, and production welds. Alright, 8. Inspection, testing, production welds. 8.1. Rights of the inspection. Company shall have the right to inspect all welds with non-destructive means of the removing the welds and subjecting to them to the mechanical test. Inspection may be made during the welding after the welding has been completed. The frequency of the inspection shall be specified by the company. 8.2. Methods of inspection. Non-destructive testing must consist of the radiographic inspection and other methods specified by the company. Method of use shall produce indication of imperfections that can be accurately interpreted with well-evaluated. Welding shall be evaluated on the basis of either in Section 9 of the company's option appendix A. In the later case, more extensive inspection to determine the imperfections of the side of the required non-destructive testing shall consist of the removal of the completed weld, sectioning of the weld into 2 specimens, examine the specimen. Specimen shall be prepared in accordance with the and shall meet with the requirements of 6.5. Company shall have the right to accept and reject any weld that does not meet the requirements of the method for which it was inspected. Welder who makes the weld and fails to comply with the requirements may be disqualified from further work. Operator non-destructive inspection equipment may be required to demonstrate the inspection procedure capability to detect defects, operating ability to properly interpret indications given by the equipment. Tree panning methods of testing shall not be used. 8.3. Qualification inspection personnel. Welding inspection personnel should be qualified and experienced and trained with a specified inspection task or to perform the qualifications acceptable to the company. Documentation of these qualifications should be retained by the company and shall include but not limited to the following: education, experience, training, result of the qualification examinations. 8.4. Certification non-destructive testing personnel. Procedures. Non-destructive testing personnel shall be certified to level 1, 2, and 3 in accordance with the recommendation of American Society of Non-Destructive Testing recommended practice number SNTC1A ACCP or any other authorized recognized national certification program shall be acceptable. The company test methods used only level 2 and 3 personnel shall interpret test results. 8.4.2. Record. A record certified non-destructive testing personnel shall be maintained by the company. The record shall include the result of the certification agency. The person granting the certification day the certification non-destructive testing person may be required and recertified with the company's option in question arises with the ability. Level 1, level 2 non-destructive testing personnel shall be recertified at least every 3 years. Level 3 non-destructive testing personnel should be recertified at least every 5 years. Chapter 9. Acceptance standards of non-destructive testing.